attracts attention and shows other drivers that they must give the way to such a car.
This is the basic part of a car. The frame carries all the other parts. Now let's install wheels. A car needs rolling wheels to move on the road. And now we need to install brakes. Brakes are needed to slow a car down or stop it. Now let's install suspension. Suspension keeps the car from shaking while driving. Let's install an engine and a battery. The engine makes the wheels turn so the car can move, and the battery helps start the engine and provides power for headlights, controls, and other systems. Now let's install a fuel tank. The fuel tank contains gasoline or other fuel. Let's install an interior of the car. This is the main interior space of the car to accommodate passengers and a driver. These are the controls of a car. They include a steering wheel, pedals, a gearbox, and a dashboard. Let's install them. All these things are necessary for a driver to control the car. Now let's install some special equipment. The special ambulance equipment consists of an electrocardiography system, defibrillator, ventilator, and other medical devices. This is a first aid kit. Let's put it in its place. The first aid kit contains all the necessary medicines, tools, and instruments for first aid. Let's put a stretcher. The ambulance stretcher is designed to carry patients. And now we need to install a body. Body is the exterior part of the car, which is attached to the frame. Install the headlights. The lights illuminate a road in the dark. There are also special lights that show the turn direction of the car. When the lights are turned on, other drivers can see the car in the dark. It's a flasher, but its correct name is emergency lighting. Let's install it. Emergency lighting.
Keep up the good work. We did it! From dirt and damage. Amazing. Let's install it right now. Tap the block to install it. The frame carries all the other parts of a motocross bike. Let's install the swing arm with a shock absorber. The swing arm attaches the rear wheel of the motorcycle to its body, and the shock absorber ensures a smoother landing after the jump. Install the front fork with the shock absorbers. The front wheel and the handlebars of the motocross bike are attached to it. Now let's install wheels. The motocross bike needs its wheels to move on the track, and now we need to install brakes. The brakes are used to slow the motocross bike down or to stop it. This is an engine. Install it. The engine turns the wheels with the help of a chain so that the motocross bike can move. And now let's install a muffler. The muffler helps to expel gases and reduces the noise of an engine. Now let's install a fuel tank. The fuel tank contains gasoline or other fuel. Let's install the handlebars of the motocross bike. By turning the handlebars, a driver turns the front fork, thus choosing the direction. Now let's install controls. They're mounted in the handlebars and on the sides of a motocross bike. All this is needed for a driver to control the motocross bike. Let's install a driver's seat. This is where the driver of a motocross bike sits. Install the bodywork of a motocross bike. The bodywork protects the driver and the parts of the You're doing really great. The hatch is needed for the crew to enter and exit. It helps the vehicle move on the ground. Let's install an engine and a battery. The engine turns the track so that the vehicle can move, and the battery helps start the engine and provides power for headlights, controls, and other systems. These are the fuel tanks. Install them. The fuel tanks contain gasoline or other fuel. Let's install internal equipment. It consists of an ammunition stowage rack and seats for tank crew. It's time to install controls. They are necessary to control the tank, its gun, and systems. Let's install a hull. The hull is made of armor. It protects the crew and the internal parts. Now it's time to install the turret of a tank. The turret is needed to rotate the gun independently from the tank. And now let's install the gun of a tank. The gun is used to fire at targets. Now we need to install a hatch. Hooray, you've got a new block. Let's install it right now. Tap the block to install the reactive armor of a tank. It provides additional protection of the tank in case it gets hit by an enemy projectile. It's time to install additional fuel tanks. Thanks to them, a tank can be refueled so it can travel a greater distance. Now let's install lighting equipment. It includes a searchlight, headlights, and rear lights. They are needed for the crew to see the road and targets in the dark. Let's install a communication system. It is needed to provide communication between the tank crew and the command. Hooray! That's all.